Hello, good morning. So I'm just doing a little screen testing, just looking like this. Okay, that bump pinned up. Yeah, but I'm just very in a space where I just really need to move forward for the next phase of my life, the other half of my life. I want to embark on health, great skin, longevity, and prosperity, and doing my calling, which is to help masses of people. And we know how important and imperative a leader must operate. So basically, every time I'm trying to do anything for myself or move forward, there's always something going on. But I'm in a space where I'm just like, let's just stay positive. Let's stay optimistic. Let's pull back. Let's show up. Whatever is for me is for me. I'm frustrated. And you only get one life. And I'm here to live it for God. And every day I ask Him to put people in my life and take away people. And you'd be surprised how fast that works. I've been doing this since junior high, a little girl. So I am in the phase of excellence, greatness, unapologetic about standing firm on things I say, things I believe, and that also intertwines with pulling back. And sometimes we are worse enemies when we tend to always want to be there and do everything for everyone else. Yeah, that's true. We are here to serve. However, we are not supposed to cast our pearls before swine. We are not to share our dreams with unbelievers, because essentially you playing with witchcraft and you're giving away basically what Samson gave to Goliath. You're giving away your power, because even God takes his hands off of some people. So with that being said, we always experience everything in the spirit before we even experience it in our flesh. Like, whatever that deals with, laziness, attitudes, addictions, I don't mean so much, pornographic or substance abuse, because sometimes substance abuse is also a form of a disease. But that is another topic for another day. And please know that even though I do have a background in psychology and an ample amount of experience working with certain demographics who experience issues with substance abuse, emotional disturbances, disabilities, and so forth, that it's always best to talk to a professional or seek out information yourself, doing your own research, using articles or research done using science-based or data. Basically do your due diligence to research anything that you hear or see. This is all just my point of view. I rarely try to give my opinion. I might suggest something or just talk in the context of what I'm being led by and what I might believe. So that can always change, because we are always growing vessels, and God is an evolution in itself, which means that when you do anything good or bad, you just have to understand that whether if it's karma being a bitch or not, it's a circle of life. The way we fly, everything is at an axis, and it's to circumference love. The word is more than just a feeling. It is a responsibility, and it's not just one way of being or showing that way, because we all have our different love languages at different levels, cognitive levels, social environment, genetics, life experience. What may have happened to you as a 4-year-old may not have happened to that 4-year-old or 14-year-old, and vice versa. So the way the brain develops and deals with trauma responses, or just any type of thing, may not be the way the next person does. Just like, for instance, when you have two parties, when one's speaking, one might be reactive while the other is proactive. It doesn't make anyone better or worse, but one might be using thinking, critical thinking, like, if I do this to this person, they'll respond this way. Whereas another person may just respond because they're just emotional. So, we have to take those considerations into life, especially when we're helping other people. So sometimes we think that we are selfish when we supply what I call boundaries, or healthy boundaries, or a newfound growth. You might be going through that caterpillar, I'm on my way to a butterfly season type of thing, and we want to be everything to everybody, and all I'm basically saying is even God takes his hands off some people. You can't do it. And that's something I have to realize. That's a lesson to myself. And I'm cool with it. Usually, I try to always make things right. I don't really care what people think or feel. It's just I want to accommodate them because I know how it feels to, really need someone or something to be there. But as you grow, you have everything you need already. Whatever you need the universe for, it will provide it. If you really just set your mind on it and focus and choose to be happy or choose to have joy. Some people choose happiness that's contingent on things or situations being a certain way. Whereas me, no matter what the situation is, I have joy. I count it all joy. When I go through trials and tribulations, I count it all joy when I wake up in the morning. But that does not mean that I am accepting to every little thing that comes my way, because I have to execute self-love for me, and that also keeps other people safe because they know how to treat you. And so if they're treating you right, then you can know how to treat them. If they're treating you wrong, you still know how to treat them. You have to be solid no matter what's going on, because people are fickle. One day they like you this day, the next minute is that day, One minute you look like Beyonce, the next minute you look like Silly from The Color Purple. So nothing's wrong with either one. Which your preference is none of my concern. I'm just telling you how the drastic put you in a high chair one day on a pedestal and then knock you down the next. So that's neither here or there. But the gist of the message is selfishness and being selfless. Do not confuse or conflict self-love and care. Please do not confuse self-love and self-care with being selfish, because at some point in time you have to meet your maker. When you're dying, it's not a group death. Even if you die with a group of people, you came in this place by yourself. Even if you came with twins or triplets, you aren't going to leave by yourself. You have to make your own mark and not get caught up in any struggles or feelings of life. Don't let people shake you because of who they are, who they think you are. You have to believe in yourself. You have to fight for yourself. Sometimes that means standing on 10 toes and slapping somebody if you have to. That also means not slapping someone if you have to, and knowing how to have control, because there's consequences if we hit people, right? But sometimes your success comes from going within yourself, finding your purpose and your fulfillment and your destiny. That way you have joy no matter what the situation is. Whether you are getting off a jet and you're living jet life, you're still that person who cultivated that when you were taking Lyft just to get to work, for that opportunity to get in that position. So let's not become wary in doing good. In due season you shall reap your rewards. Let's not get weary when we decide to take the approach of love. Let's not get weary when we decide to live for God and stand up, because we're not religious here. It doesn't matter. I love God and Jesus so much. But you know what? Let me tell you something. I follow the Buddhists too. I try to not control the future, control what people think or say. I just try to be in the moment. And whatever someone's showing me in that moment, I believe that. You know, I remember Lauren London saying, and this is before I got with somebody, you guys, how she used to just try to possess Nipsey, like she was on his case and everything, and it's just like she had to check her ego. She said that he belonged to God, and that's how we have to do. Even our kids, we can't be like, I brought you in this world and I take you out. No, that's absolutely wrong. That's why sometimes I don't try to over discipline, or I get on his case, because if you spoil the child, you spoil the rod. No, there are spiritual principles in heaven and on earth. What takes a 5-day journey can take 5,000 in heaven. What takes 5,000 in heaven can take 5 days on earth. So it really, 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 really all comes back to love. For yourself, for God, for the Holy Spirit, in the Trinity. I'm sorry, I just got on this big. The Holy Spirit just is like, what? So fruitful at times. You know, sometimes if you really pray and you get there, you understand how you got to tell the Lord to slow down. Sometimes pace it, because that's another thing. I was telling a friend, like, you know, they were saying how the kind of work they do takes like so many years off their body per year. And I also remember a pastor, church I used to go to, not that I don't consider myself still a member, and it's not like I don't pray over them or check, you know, like their live, you know, church services and things like that. I'm just not local anymore. But if I am local, I will try to make it a point to go back to these places and, you know, reach out and do things. However, the bottom line is, he was just basically saying, as a pastor, when you do 2 services in a day, you're basically doing like 8 to 16 hours, even though you just did 2 to 4 hours of service, because the emotional and physical and spiritual toll it takes on you is more drastic than physical labor. It's just like if there's a student who's in med school and it looks like they're just on the computer all the time and they're just sitting there reading. That's a lot of work versus someone who just goes to do an 8 or 10 hour shift physical labor. That's I know it sounds crazy. It's not saying, you know, we all have preferences and we all should be respectful for what we do, but different things take a different toll on your body. Just like parenting, just like cigarettes, just like love makes you glow, just like stress makes you look aggy and dry. You know, I'm in the cusp of it all, but through it all, God has kept me. Everybody keeps saying, oh, you're going through a lot, you're going through this. I'm not going through no more than the next motherfucker who got kids, who don't got kids, who's rich, wealthy, or poor on their way. You know, so I am grateful. I am solid on solid ground. I don't have to sell my soul or sell myself short for anyone to like me or approve of anything that I do, because I know who I serve. And I serve a good God. And I am in my selfish part of life, meaning I will put God first, not no child, not no man, nobody's feelings. I am living for God, and the devil is not going to attack what is not his without a fight. I'm going to continue to ask the Holy Spirit come in and protect me from deviations, from dark entities, witchcrafts, those who are trying to manifest in dark entities and spirits, monitoring spirits, whatever have you. No weapon formed against me shall prosper anymore. I don't care how anybody feels. I'm going to be kind to my mother, be nice to people I don't like, and totally cut off some people who just do not deserve my kindness. I don't care anymore, you know. So I turned a new leaf, and this is the mid part of the year. We're not 6 months in yet, but I said I'd be checking in with my health and everything. I do have some health concerns, but you know, with a deep detox, prayer, and inner health, we have everything we need. So I know I'll be divinely healed soon, and I won't be looking so drabbish. But I did just, no, I didn't like just wake up. This is like a wake up look, you know. Skin's dry, hair's dry and frizzled, and I just wanted to capture a beautiful moment listening to some classic jazz. Right now we have Doris Day, Dream a Little Dream of Me, which is so great. And I am just happy to share some gibberish with you. Whatever you need, whatever you don't, take it, leave it. But it's all love here. But I'm just saying, selfish is shellfish. Protect that outer. Be sweet on the outside, hard on the inside. Jawbreaker, whatever. But we need to be firm and fair. And we need to operate in business. And when you're in God's kingdom, it's all about what? Our Father's business. So we don't have time to play and argue and bring His kingdom down for the likes of any spirit that goes against our light. I'll just tell you one quick story because I need to get off of here. And I see what people mean when they be like they gotta go. I gotta go. I got things to do and emails to answer. So where was I? Okay. So, I had a friend, acquaintance, maybe they consider me a friend, but I know the world's not my friend. It's okay for everyone to think of you as a friend, but when did you know that they're not your friend? Right? So, with that being said, I'm so weirded out by this. It's my scarf. My head in the mirror. It looks like okay. Anywho, I could write a movie off what I just thought I saw. It was weird. So what I'm also saying is someone I wanted to help was in a rut. And someone I was involved with is a middle person. And you guys, that's a whole nother story. But basically, I was speaking to this person. So we're talking to person B. Person A, I was trying to help, and distance D. So I'm talking to B. A is me, and B are having a conversation. It was quiet, it was gentle. Then A jumps in. Because I'm trying to help, what? A, B, C, D. Right? So, we're going to put B down. They go back in because they don't really care about A that much. So they be on their way. So we have two A's going at it. Well, if you feel this way about it, if you feel sour about it, then forget it. You can go. All A said was, you guys have a good day, which is A and B. They're the team. You guys have a good day, and walked away and left a check. As A walks out, B's inside doing whatever they do, and A goes, well, if you feel sour about it, forget about it. Keep it. So, what did the A do? Did A let them keep the check, or did she walk away? You have to ask what time of day this was. Because, see, the old A would have went back to help A, B, C, and D move forward, while no one has helped them move forward, and blessed them with no questions asked, and not even asked for it back. But instead, she went back, got the check, and said, have a nice day. A, B, D, figure it out. Because, see, Christ and A are cool. Like an AC. So you have to understand, when people aren't respecting you or your boundaries, you are teaching them how to treat you. They can say and do whatever and get whatever they want from you. And that's not okay. Let God be great again. You don't need anything from anybody. If God wanted you to have their help, He will provide it to you. He's basically saying you do not need their help. So, if that message helps you out in any way, I just hope that you really do the work to be light on the inside, because it can be dark and light everywhere. But if you don't have that internal light, sweetie, it's just not going to work out. So, live peace and joy. I'm out for now. This is a little part 1 of self and selfishness. and setting those boundaries and moving forward. Can I get a snap? Hugs and kisses. We got 7 days to figure out an issue I might be having. So we're going to talk about that too.